What isn't a two-person inflatable kayak? Everything else in the world? Welcome to Monkey Boys Toys, essentially a show and tell for those who enjoy being shown and told. This is the sofa. Thanks for joining me again. Here's a checklist for a set of Terminator 2 trading cards. Now, as you will have seen from the visual information presented in the thumbnail, I will be talking this week about some luminous Ghostbusters figures. Glowstbusters, if you will. More specifically, I will be talking a little bit about the 1991 vintage Kenner line, and then I will be looking at the 2025 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive reissue set of the ECTO GLOW HEROES. So I shall first remove the T2 checklist from the shot, because I know that's incredibly distracting. I've done that now, and so why don't we have a slideshow? Oh, no, my mistake, we do. Here it comes. So, what's the deal with these then? Well, Kenner's ECTO GLOW HEROES have the distinction of being the last wave of real Ghostbusters figures that were produced in the line. This was wave 10, and it was released in 1991. It was also one of the final toy lines produced by Kenner prior to their merger/acquisition by Hasbro that same year.
I'm into, murders and executions mostly.
Actually, to be precise, Kenner was acquired by Tonka in 1987, which was then itself acquired by Hasbro in 91. Of course, I don't know what all of that means, but
Business. Numbers? Is this working?
Yes.
Yeah!
Anyway, Wave 10 consisted of 5 figures, more about those later, 2 roleplay items, namely the Ecto headphones and radar set, and the Ghost Nabber set, which was basically a ghost trap and the sniffer device, and a vehicle, the Ecto Bomber. The packaging for this wave, at least, was given a major facelift. The dark blue of the card backs was changed to a white, and this was, it seems, quite a popular change. Sadly, no further waves were produced, although the next wave was in the early stages of pre-production. Had the line continued, we would have seen items such as the Glowcopter and Fire Frighter vehicles, as well as another subset of hero figures, the Backpack Heroes. Unfortunately, Hasbro abandoned the line, and that was all she wrote. The Wave 10 figure subset once again used the same tooling that was used a few times in the line, the recognisable silhouette we all know from the very first wave of the figures in 1986. The ECTO GLOW lineup featured 5 figures, the 4 Ghostbusters, of course, and a Lewis Tully figure. And now, for some reason, this was the first time that a Janine Melnitz figure was not included in a wave, which is a shame. The figures themselves were cast in a glow-in-the-dark plastic, and their suits were highlighted with neon accents. Each character's name was printed on the suits, with Peter, Ray and Lewis having their names on the torso, and Winston and Egon's were on the legs. Their first names were used rather than their surnames, as we might have expected, which I'm not sure was the right choice. Each character came with 3 accessories: a proton pack and thrower, each thrower having a unique and chaotic proton stream, a glow-in-the-dark mask of their own face for some reason, not sure why, but still a really cool accessory, and of course each figure had a companion ghost. Now, the ghost accessories were all reused from previous subsets, although, confusingly, they were not paired with their previous hero characters. Peter came packed with the Arachnid Ghost, which was Egon's companion in the Super Fright Features wave. Egon was paired with the Jail Jaw Ghost, previously given to Ray in the first Fright Features wave. Ray was given the Gulper Ghost, which was Egon's accessory in Wave 1, and Winston came with the Rapper Ghost, originally assigned to Ray, again from Wave 1. All very peculiar. So, moving on to the 2025 SDCC exclusive reissue figures. These were presented in a box set containing the 4 individually carded main heroes. No Lewis Tully in this set. And this was produced largely because of the low availability and high demand for the 1991 original wave and the associated secondary market prices. Now, this set offered collectors the chance to own the wave and to give others the opportunity to have a loose display rather than having to open their expensive carded 1991 originals. The decision to reissue the wave was met with a mixed response, as some collectors were very happy for the reasons just mentioned, while others felt that this would devalue the 1991 release. The reissue set sold out very quickly upon its initial release, with all pre-order quantities claimed, and so a second production run was manufactured and also put up for pre-order to meet customer demand for the set. Personally, I'm delighted these were reissued, as I do like the figures, but I also like the current status of my mortgage. It's crazy to think that these figures were originally sold for $7 US in 1991. Anyway, that's a medium depth dive into the ECTO GLOW line, so let's have a look at the set I received. And here it is, the 2025 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive reissue box set of the ECTO GLOW Heroes from the real Ghostbusters line. Now, let's have a quick look at the box itself. I don't believe any of this is glow in the dark, not to my knowledge, so I think they missed a trick there. It would have been perhaps nice to have had this glowing section here actually glow in the dark, or perhaps everything but that, you know, the white section. I don't know how expensive it is to produce glow in the dark items, you know, for printing purposes, but I think that would have been nice to have had a glowing box. Of course, I might be mistaken. Perhaps there is an element of glow to it, but I don't believe so. So yes, there we go. There's the box. Unfortunately, we've got the annoying choking hazard thing up there, which sort of does sort of take away from the presentation of the front of the box there, but that's okay. So there we go. This is the collector's set. This is a set of 4 figures, of course. Lewis Tully is not included in this set. It's just the 4 Ghostbusters. There's a look at the side of the box, and this side we have the ghosts that come with the guys. There's the barcode in case you care. Top of the box says this, and on the back we have a little write up there about the figures themselves. We have the information there about the individual figures, and we have one of these cutout door hanger things. I remember those from back in the sort of mid-80s, so I'll obviously be cutting that out later and hanging that on a door somewhere, because of course I will, with a exclusive collector's set. So I'm incredibly pleased to have been successful in pre-ordering this. Very happy indeed with that. So if you just give me a moment, I'm going to open this. I know I don't normally open things, but I'm going to have to open this because I want to display the carded figures on the wall with my other reissue figures. So I'm just going to open this, and then we'll have a look at the carded figures inside. So I've opened the box. Some of you will be shouting at the screen because I've done it at the top rather than the bottom, but I do what I want. Here is some paper with words and stuff. Don't need that. This is how the figures come presented, or packed. So it looks like they're on the side, and side by side. So we've got one here, well, sorry, 2 here and 2 here. So that's cool. Let's take them out and have a look at them. In fact, I'll put the box over here and I'll just take these first 2. Oh, they're all coming out. Oh no, okay, I was wrong. They're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not. I don't know. No, they were end on. They were this way. They were all packed this way. In this way. It doesn't matter, does it? What am I doing? Anyway, so let's have a look at the carded figures. Who have we got first? We've got Winston is the first one here. So here is Winston. These cards I think are really nice. This area here, it is slight. I think it's coming across on the camera. It's got a slight, very deep purple to it, but it's only slightly noticeable. It almost looks black in some of the images that I showed earlier on, but it is in fact quite a deep purple, as it were. The white background is nice. The artwork has been updated from the original figures, but it is very similar. At a glance, if you take your glasses off and it's a bit dark, you could be forgiven for thinking this was the original packaging. So that's nice. I think these are going to look really, really nice hanging on the wall. That's fantastic. I love that. So we've obviously got the figure here in the bubble. To the left, as we're looking at it, we have the figure's mask, which matches the character's face. Each character has a mask that matches their face. We have there the rapper ghost, which, as I mentioned in the cutaway video, belonged to Peter Venkman originally. We've got these awesome proton streams. Something I didn't point out in the video, these proton streams are actually designed to trap the ghost. Here we've got a an image of Peter there with the arachnid ghost, but they're designed in such a way as you can wrap them around the ghost and then presumably give it a spin, and it's sort of reenacting perhaps the motion of having a ghost stuck in the proton beam, or sort of trapped in the proton beam. I'm not articulating myself very well, I'm sorry about that, I'm very tired. So yeah, there we go, and I like those proton streams, I think they look cool. It must be said that if you've got a heavy ghost, particularly a bigger one like the arachnid ghost here, I do wonder if attaching it actually looks like this, or if it just ends up sort of flopping down with the softness of the proton stream. I'm not entirely sure, I haven't seen one in action, so I couldn't say, and obviously I won't be opening these, but there we go. We also get a nice bio on the back. We've got a little sort of a character information card, a bit like you would see on a G.I. Joe character perhaps, that you can cut out there, and yeah, I'll pop that there in case you want to have a... Ooh, did you hear that? That was my insulin alarm. I do apologise. I've turned my Bluetooth off so that my insulin sensor doesn't send alarms to my phone, but then if I turn my Bluetooth alarm off, my phone then will alarm telling me that it's not receiving any messages from the sensor. So I can't win, and you'll just have to put up with it. It'll do it again in a minute. Anyway, so there's Winston. We'll sort of go through the others fairly quickly because they'll all be much of a muchness. Here's Ray with the Gulper Ghost. Nice touch with the blue painted eyes there, and they seem to have been done very neatly actually. That's a nice clean application there. That's cool. As I mentioned in the cutaway video, the characters here have the names on the front. Winston's down there is on his leg, just down here. There's Ray with his, looking very pleased with himself. I must say I do love these vintage sculpts. They're really good. I know that a lot of people moan about repacks and repaints and those sort of things, but I actually don't mind it. I like a variant, and I quite enjoy the fact that the figures are the same but different. Anyway, there's all of that. There's Ray's stuff. Again, we've just got the same action feature call out here. Here's Ray's card. If you want to pause that and read that, please do. Winston and Ray. Let's put them this way around so that it's Ray Winston, because, you know, why wouldn't I? Let's just nudge that one into the middle so that the others fit nicely. Oh, I can't quite see Ray now. Let's move that a bit. Oh well, we'll figure it out in a minute. So next up we've got Egon. This would be my favourite of the Ghostbuster characters, both in the film and in the cartoon series. Yeah, I do like a bit of Egon, and the jail jaw ghost. Well, even Egon's glow-in-the-dark facial facsimile has glasses on. Very cool. I must say I don't love the fact that the proton packs are upside down. I don't know why that should be the case. Perhaps the vintage ones were done like that accidentally and they've just sort of recreated that. I don't know. I can't recall actually the orientation of the proton packs in the original ECTO GLOW packaging, but yeah, I don't love that. That's a bit annoying. Anyway, here is Egon's character card at the back there. So let's pop that down there. And last up we have Dr. Venkman. Looking cool. Again, the ghost has painted eyes. All the ghosts in the ECTO GLOW set have painted eyes, so that's cool. Peter with his alarmingly green eyes. And here is the part of a set, not labelled for individual sale. Cool. So there we are. There's those. I wonder if there's a way I can get them. Oh no, they're sort of all in the shot. It's a bit untidy, but that'll be all right, won't it? Don't write in and complain. I'm doing my best. So that's what the collector's set looks like. But what's next in the ECTO GLOW series? Well, Hasbro has also launched a glow-in-the-dark ECTO 1. Here are some images of that. I think this looks really cool, actually. Not sure about having ECTO 1 printed on the side, but again, this is in keeping with the suit design of the figures. And I'm dying again. Where was I? Oh yes, I like the neon elements on the car. They look cool, the purple and stuff. I think it looks great. So that's all been carried over from the figure design. I do like that. Now, the Ecto one was not produced in a glow-in-the-dark version back in '91, but I think it's a fantastic lump of glowing plastic and a good reuse of the reissued vehicle mold, because of course this one will be a repaint of the reissue Ecto 1 rather than the vintage Ecto 1. There are a couple of differences between the vintage and the reissue Ecto 1, but if you'd like to see those, I think I've done a video on it, have I? I don't know. I've no idea. So yeah, I'd be very keen to get one of these Ecto 1 glow-in-the-dark versions. I think they're pretty cool, and it's like I said, it's a big lump of glowing plastic, and it's I think that will be quite the thing to see on display when the lights go out. But not only do we get a radioactive Ecto 1, we also got a look at the SDCC pipelines of Slimer and Mr. Stay Puft. I wasn't able to find any images at the moment of them glowing, but here are some images of the two characters. Again, these weren't produced in glow-in-the-dark versions back in the day, but I think these will make excellent display items. I'm very, very much looking forward to those. I like Slimer's purple mouth. So it also seems that there were hints that there might be a glowing Ecto 2 chopper coming our way soon. Again, that's pretty cool. I probably won't get one because I've got a vintage Ecto 2 and I'm not convinced I need another version, although never say never. We'll see what it looks like, and perhaps I would get one, but I'm not planning to at this stage. Imagine if Hasbro produced a glow-in-the-dark firehouse. Oh my god.
Take my money!
So there we have the current Ecto Glow reissue figures and some information about the upcoming glowing items in the wave, or in this section of the line. Something. Words. So have I got enough now, do you think, in my real Ghostbusters collection? Have I got enough? No, I haven't. So, I mean, I'd be over the moon with a reissue of the Classic Monsters wave. That would be fantastic. I'd love some carded examples of those. I have all the loose vintage versions, but I think they looked really, really good on the card, and I'd love to get those as well. Certainly at least Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein and Mummy. I'm not so bothered about Quasimodo. I wasn't a huge fan of that one. And the zombie was a bit shit. Didn't really look much like a zombie, if I'm honest. So I could do without those two, but I certainly would get the other four, and they would display very nicely alongside these. So I hope they bring those out. So what's actually next for my real Ghostbusters collection? Well, I think the next thing I've got in my sights will be the Slimed Heroes wave. I think they're pretty cool, so I wouldn't mind picking those up. So watch this space. And there we have it. So I hope you enjoyed this sort of short retrospective and look at the new reissues of the Ecto Glow figures. I'm sorry about all my sort of word fumbling and general rubbishness. I'm really not feeling on top form today. But thank you for watching the video. If you found any value in it, I'd really appreciate an upward thumb. And if you were able to share the video with other Ghostbusters fans, that would really help out the channel. If you aren't yet subscribed, I hope I've been able to earn your subscription today. And if you have any thoughts or opinions or memories of the Ecto Glow line, or any remarks about this video, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Before I go, I'd just like to encourage you to check out my new channel, Whimsy Fizz. I won't spoil anything here, but do click through to the channel and have a bit of a giggle. It's not for kids, so please do bear that in mind. I'll leave the link in the description. Thanks so much. That's about it for this week. Anyway, I expect you're bored of me now, so I'm going to make like a shepherd and get the flock out of here. See you next time. Bye 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 bye.